Nuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
97.7 The Zone.
Now on Saturday, you are willing to give a little extra. Then you, because of your preparation, things I'm trying to get across to you. And if we do that as a team, 11 at the time, 4 years from now, we'll be walking out of here national champion. And I'll tell you this, I expect nothing less.
97.7 The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. That's the cue. We're back. We're live. We're off. We're running. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond, welcome in on a Tuesday morning. 63 degrees right now in the Tennessee Valley. Your high today is going to get cranked up to 73. We're going to hit the 80s coming up tomorrow, and then so now would be a good time to call our good friends at Talon Heating and Air, 256-503-4490, so you're not sweating at home, sweating to the oldies.
Like the Celtics.
Little Richard Simmons, sweating to the oldies.
And I made myself watch some NBA playoff basketball, how rancid it was last night.
Okay.
Watching the Golden State injureds since Steph Curry's not playing. And
yeah, did you watch the Knicks and Celtics at all, though?
In between naps. I mean, it looked awful. All of it's just horrendous. I mean, it's really hard to watch. And then I didn't see the Tatum injury, but because I missed the end of the game, but I did know that it looked like with 4 minutes to go, the Celtics were in really big trouble, and they are because they're now down 3-1. Oh, by the way, Baghdad is really struggling this morning. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it feels like I'm about to get the old when we've been on location and it would just give us the zip and then we completely lose everything. Like everything was about to go on fire, got to catch on fire, so we had to basically drive back to the station. Holy Toledo, that's the worst I've ever heard. So
Well, anyway, you did bring up the NBA, and there was.
I guess that Baghdad would act up when I'm bringing up this rancid basketball.
There is one thing, though, to the NBA last night that is kind of interesting, and that was the draft lottery did happen last night. And here is how it played out.
The second pick will be made by the San Antonio Spurs, and that means that the number one pick in the 2025 NBA draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
Luka, who? What was his name again?
Rolando Blackman, all smiles, four-time All-Star, celebrating.
So Rolando Blackman, the lucky charm that the representatives of the Dallas Mavericks sent. Remember, they started doing that. You send a lucky charm up there to get the draft pick. Now, why is that interesting? Well, because the Dallas Mavericks had a 1.8% chance.
Yeah, everybody's saying it was a conspiracy because when AD left to go to the Lakers and almost ruined his life, he left New Orleans, and then New Orleans got Zion Williamson.
Yeah,
and I mean, 85. They still talk about the Knicks getting Patrick Ewing because they've been so bad for so long, and and even Victor Wembanyama going to the Spurs because the Spurs have been a model franchise. They just talked about all the times that a franchise would lose a frontline player and then miraculously win the lottery. But like I said, I mean, and I love Luka's game, but we all know he's had too many cheeseburgers and couldn't guard that wall. So now if you're Dallas, you don't have to pay him $300 million and you get as good a young player as we've seen in a long time in Cooper Flagg. You've still got AD if you can actually get him healthy. And then you've got, Thompson, Klay Thompson. You've still got, Kyrie there. Kyrie Irving, he's got to recover, but Derek Lively, you've got a pretty good ball club. And so now you get, Cooper Flagg and it was so funny when the lottery played itself out. I mean, either the Spurs or the Mavs are getting, Cooper Flagg. So he's going to a pretty good basketball team.
He's going to a good organization, yeah.
And not going to the Philadelphia 70 crappers.
The Jazz and the Wizards both had a 14% chance to land the number one overall pick. The Pelicans had a 12% chance. Here is something interesting. They introduced the draft lottery in 1985.
Yeah.
The Utah Jazz have never drawn the number one overall pick.
Wow.
Never. Had a 14% chance last night to get it, but never have drawn the overall number one pick.
All right, John, how many texts did you get from our good friend Bailey? Did he have a meltdown last night? None? He didn't have a meltdown? I figured he had a meltdown because he wasn't getting Cooper Flagg. I didn't bother him. I thought he's probably
you probably weren't even paying attention to it.
Oh, I watched the lottery in its entirety. I wanted to actually see that because I actually give a rat's ass, but I don't to see where the young players go. But as far as the action itself, it's putrid. I mean, I watched the most I watched was the third quarter and watched the Minnesota Timberwolves freaking just shoot a layup drill against Golden State. It was an absolute joke. And then to watch teams try to finish games is another just exercise in bad AAU basketball. Can't inbound the ball, can't handle the ball, be dribbling it off your foot, and everybody bombing threes. I mean, it's just.
Well, I give you credit. Rancid. You at least watched some of the postseason. I give you credit. We've said, hey, you got to watch a little bit of it.
It's insane. It's kind of like a bizarro world because everybody all year was talking about the Celtics and the Cavs, and they couldn't wait for either one of those series. I don't think either one of them is going to win their series.
No, we could have a Knicks-Pacers Eastern Conference.
And then, I mean, Oklahoma City,
which would go old school to the.
And there's no guarantee Oklahoma City, who had the best record, is even going to beat Denver, who fired their coach and their general manager before the end of the regular season because it makes so much sense. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, crazy. And then, of course, like we said, the T-Wolves are fixing to beat Golden State. The T-Wolves were the 6th seed.
And that's not – I mean, they are Steph Curry lists.
Yeah, they are. And you can tell it. And then Jimmy Buckets has turned into Jimmy Brickets.
You are all in on it this morning.
Yeah, I mean, he was nowhere. I mean, where is he? I saw him make one shot. I mean, look, they traded for you for a reason, Jimmy Brickets. If you've been Jimmy Buckets your whole career, you're supposed to be some playoff, ace in the hole, and you save your best basketball for the postseason when you feel like playing and not demanding trades. But I mean, I just figured, okay, there you go. With Steph being sidelined, you got to go for 30. He went for 30 in the last game. They still lost. And I guess maybe he didn't have his KO pectate. I don't know, but he was awful.
Okay, so that is the current situation for the NBA. But I am sure you heard this, though. I mean, and it's so good, though. It is so good to have it coming back for those that remember the NBA on NBC.
Yeah.
It is coming back next year. It is coming back to NBC. That means we do get this. We do get the John Tesh Round Ball Rock theme song. It is coming back for sure. But did you see who is going to be a special contributor to the NBC broadcast?
Yeah, I'm sure LeBron don't want none.
And that would be the one, his airness, Michael Jordan.
The true GOAT.
Michael Jordan will be a special contributor to the NBA on NBC.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw that. And Michael, he can do whatever he wants. I mean, he owned a basketball team for a while, owned the Hornets. Wasn't a great owner. I mean, they didn't win. So, I mean, you got to say that. I mean, he's never wanted to coach. He's never shown much interest in doing television, but if he wants to, he can. He's certainly well-spoken and good enough to do it. And I'd like to see him, interview LeBron and make LeBron piss on the air. Down his leg.
Just scare him to death.
Yeah, because he would.
Oh,
he don't want none of that.
The true GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michael Jordan never exited a playoff series and then said, my leg is hurting, I can't go to the Met Gala the next night or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
or sat out a game, and then you see him at his son's game over in Sierra Canyon running up and down the sidelines looking like he's 25 years old, celebrating and giving everybody 5, but he didn't play the night before. Guess he was hurt, huh?
That makes you the GOAT.
Yeah. Just ask him. He said it on the record. Those that say they're the GOAT on the record are not.
Oh.
Period. End of story.
There we go. So we did. We got the NBA draft lottery in there. We got some NBA playoff talk.
And I will say this: I pray for Jason Tatum that he didn't rupture his Achilles. We really don't know what he did yet. I haven't seen anything this morning, but it looked bad.
It does.
I mean, I certainly don't think he'll be playing the rest of this series, and I think the C's will be going home in 5 or 6.
ESPN's really production quality is they gave Jay Will a handheld mic at a desk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, some of these analysts, I'll just say they're lacking a little bit.
Do you think Jordan would be a good analyst? Do you think he'll be a good?
I haven't heard him yet. We'll see. I mean,
it's going to be interesting to see him.
Be able to bring some interesting insight. I thought he was really good on The Last Dance and the stuff that he did there, and he got criticized for some of it. But of course, and some of his former teammates like Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen and all of them were ripping him. But hell, he was just telling the truth. And when you tell the truth, then people get mad and try to sell books. You know what I'm saying? To tell their side of the story. So, I mean, look. All I can say is that Scottie Pippen and Horace, and I still say this: Horace made a mistake. He's probably mad at himself still to this day.
For going to Orlando?
Yeah. I mean, he should have won 3 more rings. I mean, they wouldn't have had to go get Dennis Rodman if he'd have stayed put. Maybe Horace is a Hall of Fame player. I've always said that. And because Horace was really good. Michael rode him like a horse, but he rode everybody. And, how can you complain when you win? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and he helped fatten your wallet and make you money.
In today's NBA, you complain if you win because you maybe don't get the ball enough. You want the ball in your hands more.
That's one of my favorite role players right there. And I'll never forget on the bus when I was in the G League with the Huntsville Flight, D League back in.
Yes.
And it was the first year we had Greg Stolt with us. He was our allocated player. from the area. And Greg played with us for a year, and then I think he's working for the NBA overseas in China now. But we were talking, and he of course played at Florida and played for he played for Billy Donovan and helped get that program really started. I mean, no question about it. And he had a really good career for a long time. Held the 3-point shooting records for Florida as far as for attempts and makes. I think Lee Humphrey or somebody may have broke it, but he for many years though he was the record holder, and so I'm sure is still in the top 3 or 4. He had an outstanding 4-year career, but he didn't think UD would play in the NBA, and I thought he would. I thought he was made of the right stuff, and because Udonis Haslem wasn't the best athlete in the world,
right?
But he was tough, and then. Back in those days, the NBA actually had some physicality to it, and the game was played in a different way. And of course, he ended up going to the Miami Heat and playing forever because Pat Riley always could acquire winning players. He always had a great eye for talent. Did the same thing with Keith Askins at Alabama, and Keith and UD Haslem were part of some outstanding championship years with the Miami Heat. That's for sure. And I always thought UD was a hell of a player when he was at Florida, and Stolt did as well. He just wasn't sure that he would be able to play in the NBA, and boy, did he. He was a hell of a player.
All right, 7:13 on a Tuesday morning. I tell you what, let's slip in our first break of the morning. When we come back, we'll update you on some high school baseball playoffs from last night. Tough one for Bob Jones. Plus, we'll get into some college football conversation. Josh Pate throwing some interesting stuff out there yesterday. Some conversation with that and more. We've only just begun. It's Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperaters going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256 503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White, his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's perfect.
That's the price you pay.
Well, the good news is we found out Baghdad Bob.
Got to switch the outlets, man. Switch the outlets.
You got to come from behind with Baghdad Bob.
The Lakers don't do that very well.
Doesn't like it in the front.
No. Sounds a lot better now, Scott. I can actually hear every word now, not every, maybe every
other
fourth word. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I know.
We're good now.
I know. Last week it may have been the week before that. Josh Pate was on the show.
Yeah,
I was at volleyball, and I know you guys had Josh Pate on.
Yeah, we did. And coming off his trip to Alabama, because he went to see Kale and DeBoer, and he's been on a tour. You know, he goes on a post-spring tour. Yeah.
Well, Josh Pate yesterday. Josh Pate does not like to do, and he's getting married, I think, and he is getting married, so he's going to miss some time. But he doesn't do them. He doesn't do a top 25 ranking too often because he says he just doesn't like them. He likes power rankings. But he did after doing his tour, he released it yesterday. Mm-hmm. He did a post-spring 2025 top 20 in college football.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are reacting to who he put number one in college football.
Yeah, it's a little surprising.
He put the Clemson Tigers as the number one team in college football post-spring, followed by Texas, then Penn State at number 3.
Yeah.
Then this is who he picked at number 4.
Mm-hmm. Baghdad acting up again?
No, this is internet acting up again.
I was waiting,
I know we set that up.
The floor's pretty high with them.
Here is who I'll go right to the time.
Right.
Here, because I put it in here. Here is who he picked at number 4.
Yeah.
I believe in Alabama. Got him all the way up at number 4. I think the personnel is just pretty dramatically upgraded from last year. Specifically, could have one of, if not the best wide receiver rooms in that conference, could have one of, if not the best defensive back rooms in that conference. But above and beyond that, I was sort of disappointed with them and Georgia both in how poorly they ran the ball relative to the standards of those teams and those programs usually. And I think with Ryan Grubb coming in as their offensive coordinator, more so than scheme change or, play design improvement or anything like that, I just think the collective attitude and identity of the offense will be much easier to figure out. They seem kind of schizophrenic week to week last year. Hey, quick timeout.
There you go. puts Alabama at number 4.
Yeah, he did. I saw that. And it's an interesting pick. And I do agree with him with the upgrade at the wide receiver room. And I answered a question on X yesterday, who's a breakout candidate for the University of Alabama this year? And, some would say Ryan Williams hasn't broken out yet because he hasn't become a first-team All-American, but he was a freshman All-American last year, so he made enough plays, and he would have had 1,000 yards receiving if Nuke LaLoosh could have hit him when he was wide open, enough. He hit him early in the season, but by the middle to the end of it, we were hitting the bull a lot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you go back and watch,
we were getting free steaks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
We were getting some free steaks.
Yeah. It was, you told him he was the curveball was coming, didn't you? I sure did.
Sure did.
Yeah. That's basically what we got. And so there was a struggle, and with Jeremy as well, because Jeremy, I think, could have been really productive, but there was just too many plays left out there. But I said Isaiah Horton because he was really solid last year at Miami, but this is his first year at Alabama. He and Ty Simpson seem to have really good chemistry from what you hear. And so I think Horton could be a guy that really brings some big playability to Alabama. Could it be a Jamison Williams type impact? I don't know. That Jamison Williams went from third string at Ohio State and not playing a whole lot to first team All-American and a top 12 draft pick, and is still doing really well with Detroit. So we will see, but I just think Horton's got a chance to make a big impact. And then if I had another guy, if I was going to go defense, I would say Dejon Lee. And he's the freshman corner, from Mission Viejo, California. And I think he had a huge spring, and certainly there's a lot of talent returning in that secondary, but I think he's going to carve out a role for himself. And so I think I would agree with Josh wholeheartedly that the wide receiver core in the secondary should be better. It's going to come down to, can they keep the offensive line healthy? Because I'm not sure they've got enough depth at offensive tackle, but a lot of teams don't. And then how well does Ty play? Because, it's his job right now. I think we all understand that. And can he stay healthy, and can he play well? And if not, how quickly do you get Austin Mack or Keelan Russell up to speed if he's injured? But again, I just think if Ty comes through and you stay healthy along the offensive line, I think the players around the quarterback are going to be better. And I do think, and the other point Josh made about the
running game,
the conventional running game should be better. And the thing about Georgia last year that was surprising is it's not like they had a Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe was an electric runner when he woke up and decided he wanted to run. But Carson Beck wasn't winning any races. Okay. Now he wasn't. Now I will say he was not a tree. Like he could make some plays with his feet.
Well, it's a Georgia football team. They were winning races in cars.
Yeah. But I'll just say he wasn't a guy that you had to game plan for around his feet. He was going to be a guy operating from the pocket, making the proper read. And for whatever reason last year, and a lot of it was probably Etienne's health, because he was never really healthy.
Right.
When he was healthy, they ran the ball well. Georgia's running back room, and then Branson Robinson, he could never stay healthy. He was supposed to be a 5-star. He never lived up to it. So Georgia had a lot of injuries a year ago. And so I think that really affected their offense. So it's going to be interesting to see how both of these teams and now Georgia, if we assume Gunnar Stockton, and we think that's who's going to be the quarterback, he is mobile. He's more mobile than Carson Beck was. So is the quarterback running game going to be more prevalent at Georgia this year?
So Alabama 4, you bring up Georgia, we'll get to them. He puts LSU at number 5. A lot of people around the LSU program that cover the Tigers feel like this may be one of Brian Kelly's better teams that he's had since arriving there at Baton Rouge. Like they've answered some questions through the portal.
They've tried. We'll see if it works. They've got so many dang guys out of the portal. They better hope that fall camp everybody meshes, because
they have Garrett Nussmeier back.
They got their quarterback back, which is big, even though he threw a lot of picks. So and turned the ball over a lot, but he made some plays too. But and they've got to replace both of their offensive tackles, because they certainly offered a lot of money to Taco Casa.
Garrett Nussmeier, by the way, of all of the college football quarterbacks coming back, is the leader in the clubhouse with passing yards at 4,052.
Yeah.
So he is the number one. He's number one in all of college football in returning production yards.
Oh,
so that's why a lot of people say, "Hey, LSU, we're putting you up high."
If all these portal guys work out, I mean, it's a boom or bust factor.
Yeah.
But they could be really, really good. We'll see. But
he puts Notre Dame at number 6, Oregon 7, Ohio State number 8. And here's a surprise. Florida at number 9.
Better hope my man's healthy. DJ Lagway.
Number 9. He puts Oklahoma at number 10.
Yeah, he's obviously got some good intel with Oklahoma and their portal additions. He's counting on the new offensive coordinator, new quarterback, and all these new pieces to work. And if they are number 10, then Brent Venables will have a job. If they're on the outer edges of the top 25, Brent Venables will not have a job. So I think it's as simple as that.
He puts Georgia at number 11, Miami at number 12.
Miami spent a ton of money on transfers.
Yep, especially at quarterback.
Well, quarterback everywhere. I mean, they were still getting committed, trying to plug them in on defense, and they were rancid on defense last year.
Texas A&M at number 14.
Yeah.
He put Burt at number 15.
Yeah, there's some people that think Burt might win the Big Ten.
Let's go, Burt.
Wow.
Oh, I couldn't. They just need to flop.
And we all know how much Scott loves
Next
Illinois.
to Minnesota, Illinois is just that's Minnesota and Illinois just rubbed me the wrong way. They just
Brett Bielema. Doesn't like him some Burt.
Oh, Burt. Let's go, Burt. Ole Miss at number 16.
Austin Simmons is going to be really fascinating. Only 19 years old.
How about South Carolina at number 18?
Mike Shula's going to have to show me something because I've never.
He's got Lenora Sellers.
I know, but he had a lot of talent with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and didn't work out.
Oh my! But I tell you what, Mike Shula as a coordinator and as a quarterback
he got a Hall of
coach,
Fame head coach fired is what he did. Tony Dungy got him the zig because they could not win in the playoffs. I mean, to say it was not a creative offense is an understatement. It's about like, do I believe that Tony Vitello is a peckerhead? I think everybody knows the answer to that question. Do I think he can coach baseball? Absolutely. But, Lord.
So you take away the 3 years that Mike Shula was head coach at Alabama from 03 to 06.
Well, he was 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's 4 years, yes.
03 to 06.
He started as a coach in the NFL in 1988.
Yeah, after he had a 1-year basically pro career with the Bucs.
Yes. He started as a coach. He has been an offensive assistant with Tampa Bay, a Dolphins assistant, the tight ends coach for the Bears from 93 to 95.
Yes, he was.
You mentioned the offensive coordinator there at Tampa Bay from 96 to 99. Quarterbacks coach of the Dolphins at 2000. My point is, he started his NFL journey as a coach in 88, and that lasted until 2023 when he was the Bills' senior offensive assistant, and now has been at South Carolina. He got there in 24 as an offensive assistant. Now he's the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach.
He was basically an analyst, and now he's been bumped up to offensive coordinator and QB coach. I think he's pretty good with quarterbacks, but I've got to see it to believe it with the play calling and see if South Carolina can keep on this upward trend. And South Carolina lost a ton of talent on defense. I mean, they were pretty salty. I mean, their defensive line, they do have Stewart back, but pretty much everybody else is gone. And if you watch the NFL draft, they had a ton of guys drafted. And that was a team that was nearly good enough to make the playoff. Really probably was, but again, they that LSU loss with the despicable officiating cost them, and then they nearly beat Alabama, right. Made a great comeback when I have to admit that was probably the low point for me with the coaching staff in year one was, you're up double figures with about just under 2 minutes to go in the first half, and by the time all the dust settles, you're down 3. I mean, it was pretty stunning. I mean, and then of course ended up after a Milroe interception and then a touchdown for South Carolina. You were in a little bit of trouble until Alabama rallied. But like we said, credit to South Carolina for coming out of nowhere, but they're not going to sneak up on anybody this year. I mean, in my opinion,
it's kind of funny how fates play out, right? Because remember back in 2007, Mike Shula had 2 interviews with the Dolphins for that head coaching job that ultimately went to Nick Saban.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's never been a head coach on the NFL level for a reason, in my opinion. Right. I just don't. I mean, because he's been up there. Well, you talked about it. My goodness, he's been up there since '87. So, and the only time he's only been out of the league twice, the 4 years at Alabama. And it's the only head coaching job he's ever had. And now, after he left the Bills to go to South Carolina with Beamer, and obviously there's a relationship there from somewhere, but this is his second tour in college football and his first as a coordinator. So, that's what's going to be kind of fascinating to me. He's got, potential. I mean, they should have good players.
Lenora Sellers has talent. Yeah. We saw it. He has talent.
Yeah.
All right. 7:33. Let's get a break in. 256-576-4977 is the number of the phone lines. You can join us if you'd like.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Stuart Dressman, staying on the rather warm end of the spectrum as we head into the overnight. Temperatures only dropping into the lower 60s. A partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing consistently into the lower mid-80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible, but it also looks like the vast majority of us are going to spend Wednesday afternoon dry, only dropping into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Thursday. A partly sunny sky, a couple of isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. I'm Chief Meteorologist Stuart Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at SensaGreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that's what never worked.
It was in 2016.
Yeah, with the Panthers when that was Newton's MVP season.
Yeah, that was. Correction.
Well, anyway, it's funny. Welcome back to Talking Ball, by the way, 97.7 ESPN. The Zone.
Some good research done.
It's funny during commercials how you just kind of how the unplanned becomes the plan.
Right.
And when we were talking about Josh Pates' top 20 in college football, we got to South Carolina, who he has inside the top 20. Well, then you realize, okay, Mike Shula is the offensive coordinator going into this year. He's got Lenora Sellers, and it's like, okay, what has Mike Shula really done in the NFL to develop quarterbacks? Because you say, well, okay, he's got all this talent. Well, then you start looking and you start really peeling back the Mike Shula layers of onion.
And there's some layers we forgot.
Yeah, there's some layers you don't think about.
Yeah.
Like he was at Carolina as the offensive coordinator from 2013 to 2017. You're saying, okay, well, great. He was there. Well, you forget that in 2016, the Carolina Panthers went to the Super Bowl. Cam Newton was their quarterback. Cam Newton was the MVP of the NFL that year.
Yeah.
With Mike Shula as the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator.
Yeah, no, Mike ended up leaving to go to after those 4 years, 13, 14, 15, 16, and really 5, I guess, because you said 13 to 17. So he was with Ron Rivera for 5 years. And when you mentioned that off the air, I was like, yeah, that was during the Ron Rivera tenure. And I was like, yeah. And I believe that was during the time they went to the Super Bowl.
But
and
one time.
Mike Shula ended up leaving to go to the New York Giants to become offensive coordinator. That was a disaster with Pat Shurmur. That ended up not being a long-term situation. But you have to credit them. They did have success under Ron Rivera and with Cam Newton in Carolina. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl. They lost to the Denver Broncos team, and our good friend Darian Stewart had a hell of a game in that Super Bowl. Was nearly MVP.
Yeah,
but the Broncos win at 24-10. But
what year was that? That was
February of 2016.
Okay, 2016. Yes.
Yeah. So nearly 10
that's
years.
right. Yep.
So again, you got to credit Coach Shula for that. So that's probably been his best success in the NFL after, like we said, he didn't get the Bucs over the hump offensively, but he certainly did a good job with Carolina. And so this will be, as far as his stints, his first OC opportunity in college football, but he's had 3 of them in the NFL and had some sustained success with Carolina. And with when Cam Newton was at his best, and because Cam Newton had a few years there where he was an elite player,
well,
no question about it.
He also was there when Newton became Rookie of the Year in the NFL. So he guided him to a Rookie of the Year, and then he helped guide him to MVP. So, I guess that's what. This
is what they're counting on, because there's a lot of comparisons with Lenora Sellers and Cam Newton from an athleticism standpoint, and the arm talent that he does possess. And so we'll see if Mike Shula can have the same kind of success that he had in Carolina with South Carolina now in Columbia.
Yeah, kind of funny how we brought all that back full circle.
Yeah, I mean,
that how Mike Shula had
follow
that.
his odyssey a little bit.
He did that, and now they're Shane Beamer is trying to, I guess, tap into what Mike Shula did with Cam Newton at Carolina, dust off a little bit of that success, and turn that into Lenora Sellers and try to get him to be one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC.
And I'm sure last year, Coach Shula, as an analyst, did a lot of work with Lenora Sellers. I'm sure there was probably a relationship there. So when the job became open as OC for Carolina, that was just from a continuity perspective. And when you go back and look at his time with Cam Newton, I'm sure that factored into the decision quite heavily with Shane Beamer to make that move.
All right, 256-576-4977. The other interesting take that Josh Pate came out with yesterday was the fact that, and I didn't mention Arizona State, where he had Arizona State put in here. And I know a lot of people don't give a darn where Arizona State is, but they're at 13. He puts them at number 13. The reason why I bring it up is because he tied Arizona State back into the SEC and the Big Ten when he said that Arizona State is America's team right now. He said that you can't be America's team right now if you reside in the SEC or the Big Ten because people don't like those two conferences right now. They don't like the SEC. They don't like the Big Ten. And so you can't be America's team if you are from either one of those conferences.
And if they had Cam Scatterbo back, my man.
You would agree with that? You would put
he would be the front runner for the Heisman Trophy, Mr. Scatterbo. One of the greatest names ever, And he came from Sacramento State of all places. They found him in the transfer portal. And Mr. Cam Scatterbo. And speaking of the Bucks, we're like on this we're reliving everything. He's like a Mike Allstott type guy.
Oh,
remember when he came out of another one of your
Purdue? Purdue Boilermakers.
Yeah, one of your favorites.
You know what though? Because I want to say Allstott was at Purdue when Jerry Tiller was there. I think. I think, but I can't remember.
Coach Joe Tiller. He was more known for throwing the ball. I was thinking that it was the coach before Joe Tiller, but maybe I'm wrong. But I didn't think Joe Tiller was there when Allstott was carrying the rock.
So 92 to 95.
Right.
What makes it even better is that Allstott is from Joliet, Illinois.
Another one of your favorite places.
Well, that's, the whole Blues Brothers movie, Joliet, Illinois.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had an Allstott jersey. I love the dude. I love watching him pound the rock.
92 to 95. It looks like Jim Coletto was the head coach.
What a name.
Was head coach there at Purdue.
To bring back a blast from the past before Joe Tiller.
Tiller, by the way, was there. So he was at Wyoming. He was he was an assistant at Purdue from 83 to 86. He took over the head coaching job at Purdue in 97. So he came in after, and then that's when Tiller got Drew Brees.
Yeah, and I'll just say this. You could argue, because think about it. He came in. Now, Coach Spurrier came to the SEC 7 years before in 90. But you could honestly say that Joe Tiller was the Steve Spurrier of the Big Ten because he brought a spread offense and throwing the ball all over the place that the Big Ten wasn't used to.
Well, he got Purdue 10 bowl berths.
There you go.
In 12 years and the 2001 Rose Bowl.
He took Purdue
to the Rose
Bowl.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
The late Joe Tiller.
Of course, he had Drew Brees at quarterback.
Yeah, from Austin, Texas.
I mean, that kind of helped out.
The horns didn't hook him.
Yep.
They thought he was too small.
I tell you, I heard it said the other day, and I forget where I heard it, that it was, and it's so true.
And
it's so true that growing up as a Big Ten kid, you never said we're going to win the national championship.
It was go to the Rose Bowl.
That was the thing. You wake up and you start talking about Iowa, or you start talking about Michigan or Ohio State at the time, and it was never about winning the national championship. It was always about, are we good enough to get to the Rose Bowl? Can we get to the Rose Bowl? Can we win the Rose Bowl? Can we get to Pasadena? And if you're fortunate enough to find yourself in a situation that you could win the national title, that'd be great. But it was all about getting to the Rose Bowl. That was it. Got to get to the Rose Bowl. Got to get to the Rose Bowl. That was it. It's what you're going to do. Let's get a break in. When we come back, maybe some Major League Baseball conversation, high school baseball conversation.
Wow, it's tough.
Yeah, we're throwing it all out there. It's Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Oh, man.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a back compressor, a leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Coming up on Saturday, May 17th, it's the Colts Mayday Bass Tournament out of Joe Wheeler State Park to benefit the Clements High School Booster Club. The Colts Booster Association exists to make sure that the athletes at Clements High have what they need to perform at their best. And this is a great, fun way to support the program. Blast-off is at Safe Flight with the weigh-in at 2. An entry fee is just $100 per boat. The guaranteed payout for first place is $1,500 with a side pot for big fish as well. Learn more at coltsboosterassociation.org.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun, legendary food.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Well, Miko Harrison, he's still standing.
I tell you what, that's some good Billy Joel right there.
Oh, it is.
So he did a concert at City Field or whatever. Apple Music has it live. You can download songs, each song. That's one of the songs that you can get from it. And I tell you, every now and then it's just, you got to put you put the roof, you put the lid, as we call it in the car. We put the lid open. Yeah. And then you just listen to that a little. I mean, it's fantastic. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, makes it easy. Makes life easy.
Some Elton John.
Yeah. Elton John, Billy Joel.
Yeah. Some I'm Still Standing.
I'm still standing.
LeBron ain't.
It makes you happy, doesn't it?
Oh, I know. He sucks.
Makes you happy. Boy, I'm just messing up things.
It was Akeem yesterday. He represented the Rockets, by the way. And shout out for Bama basketball, Keon Ellis. He represented the Sacramento Kings. Pretty good for a guy who was undrafted.
High school baseball from last night. Bob Jones. They had to finish up that series with Tuscaloosa County.
Yeah, at Spain Park. Ended up moving it.
Yeah, we said yesterday that at Tuscaloosa County was adamant they did not want to move that series. They didn't want to move it. But folks, you had to, because
the weather was just horrible.
They had to get this. They had to get it in. They could not.
They were getting so behind schedule.
Yes. And the thing is with Class 7A, you want to give them the rest. You want to get your pitchers the rest because you want your best to play in the state championship game. And they had to get that one in yesterday. So they moved it to Spain Park. Weather kind of, again, plays havoc with it. Bob Jones, though, ultimately falls in Game 3. Tough one for the Patriots. Their season comes to an end, shy of making it back to the Class 7A state championship series.
Nah, but another great run by Bob Jones. And, as Coach Smith posted last night on the Bob Jones feed, just ran out of gas. Credit Tuscaloosa County. Both teams had to move, but they got it done 3-1. And,
look, they beat Hewitt-Trussville to get there. Number 1, Hewitt-Trussville.
They beat Thompson in that dramatic first round series that they were down to their last 3 outs.
Yeah, it was it was a school record 7th consecutive playoff appearance.
Yeah.
4th semifinal appearance in 7 seasons for the Bob Jones Patriots. So I mean that's nothing to hang your hat on. I mean that's
they had a remarkable
amazing.
Run. They did.
Hey, guess what? In case you haven't noticed, and judging by the attendance. always fun to work in a little major league. The Atlanta Braves are threatening to climb out of the below 500 mark.
Well, I mean, how can you watch baseball in this horrendous weather? I mean,
well, we're going to on Wednesday.
Rain, go away. Don't rain on us.
My bad, Thursday.
When we're in the ATL.
Last night.
Outside a restaurant.
Last night, got a little bit of this. Hopefully it works. You got a little bit of this from the Braves Nationals.
Somehow, some way, doesn't matter. He's going to sprint back, still back to the wall, and he somehow, some way, does a magic trick in center. He makes the catch Willie Mays style and goes into the wall. Money Mike, I feel like I just saw a ghost. How did he do that? And of all the plays that Michael has made, that's one of the greatest catches he has ever made, and that's really making a statement.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Michael Harris helping the Atlanta Braves get a 4-3 win over the lonely Washington Nationals. Braves now 20-21 on the season.
Yep. They continue to get within one game of 500, and they can't get over the top.
Well, today, Wallenbeck.
Well, we'll see.
Against Soroka.
He's at really. No, I didn't know that he was with
Michael Soroka.
I did not realize the blast from the past. The Canadian Comet, Mike Soroka, is now with the sorry ass Nats. Didn't realize that. Last I heard, he was with the sorry ass White Sox.
Not anymore.
Wow.
Spencer Schwellenbach gets the start for the ATL tonight.
I believe this is the first time Soroka's ever pitched against the Braves. I don't think he ever did for the White Sox. So very interesting matchup tonight with Soroka, who I'm rooting for. I mean, the guy when you have 2 Achilles injuries, he looked like an ace for 10 years for a while when he had it rolling with the Braves, and injuries just totally derailed him and Ian Anderson. I mean, they both just never became what you thought they were going to be. So we'll see. Schwellenbach he's had some hard luck too. They haven't scored a whole lot of runs for him. So,
well, just to keep you an update on the worst team in Major League Baseball, the Colorado Rockies.
They just fired Bud Black.
Well, they just lost one under their new manager as well. So
I don't think it's the manager's fault. I think the players stink.
They are now.
And we still root for Jordan Beck on this show, but
they are now 7-34 on the season.
Man,
7-34.
Oh, that is rough.
Only the Pittsburgh Pirates have scored more runs than the Colorado Rockies. Pittsburgh is 14-28, 10 games back in the Central. They've scored 130 runs. The Colorado Rockies are 7-34 and have only scored 134 runs. But we like the Colorado Rockies because they gave our good friend Brewer Hicklin his first hit in the majors.
And stolen base.
I
think.
He wants me to text him this morning so we can get a time for him to come on the show. So I got to do that.
Major leaguer Brewer Hicklin, number 50 for your Detroit Tigers. You're having a good year, by the way.
Yeah, the Tigers, by the way, are 27-15, 2.5 games up in the Central. All right, hour 1 done.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. Their locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 2 of Talking Ball coming your way right now. We got 60 more minutes on the clock. We're counting it down. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, they're helping us do so. 256-881-5151. You want to experience a little SportsMed difference, feel free to give them a call. They're really good. I promise. They're the official medical providers of the Rocket City Trash Pandas as well as the UAH Chargers. And our schedules have been so wonky that we got to get our good doc back in here.
Yeah.
And talk a little baseball. He's a huge baseball fan.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Dr. Ricks. We got to get Dr. Ricks back in here.
We talked arm injuries and elbows and stuff the last time he was in here.
I told him we'd have him back in, and then obviously I go and mess up the schedule for 3 weeks. But we'll get him back in here now that the dust is all settled. But anyway, speaking of dust, the SEC is ready to kick up some dust again on the college baseball world. And I saw this morning, and D1 Baseball.
Yeah.
Or I guess D1Baseball.com. They drop their top 25 baseball rankings
every week. Yep.
LSU is according to them, they're the new number one team in college baseball. So the SEC has the number one team, the third ranked team, the sixth ranked team in Auburn, number 8 in Arkansas, 9 Vanderbilt, 10 Georgia, 17 Tennessee, 18 Alabama. And then at number 23 is the Florida Gators.
Yeah, them Gator boys hot.
They hot.
Yeah, they won a national championship under Kevin O'Sullivan, I believe, in 2017, and he's been a great coach there for a long, long time. He was, of course, on the same coaching staff as Tim Corbin under Jack Leggett at Clemson. What a staff that was! One of the all-timers, and that's still one of the stunning things that Florida State's never won a College World Series, even though all the trips they've made, and Clemson hasn't either. But what a coaching staff that was! But Kevin O'Sullivan. He's the Gators really, since they upset Ole Miss in football, their entire athletic department has completely flipped.
Right.
Because they weren't predicted to win the national championship in basketball, but we all saw what they did under Todd Golden. That team is going to be mentioned along the same lines as the great ones from the Al Horford era, and that's what I call it, and that won back-to-back in 06 and 07. And Walter Clayton, to me, is still the greatest Gator of them all. What a run for Todd Golden to win the SEC tournament, to win the national championship. And now the Florida Gators, who were a top 5 team really to start the season, but then 1-11 in the SEC. Now they're 12-3 over their last 15 games. They're as hot as any team in the country.
I mean, that was losses to Tennessee to start the season. They got swept by the Vols back in the first part of March, then got swept by Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia was hot at that time.
On the diamond, and then lost 2 out of 3 to Ole Miss. Yeah, they got swept by Vanderbilt.
They lost these were good teams they lost. It was just the way they lost. People were surprised. But Kevin O'Sullivan, the coach he is, has recranked everything and gotten it straightened out. And this is not the first time he's done this. But we're going to talk some Gator baseball with one of my favorite guys. He covers the entirety of Gator athletics now for the Gainesville Sun and the Gannett, Florida Network. And that is Kevin Brockway. And we're going to have him back on, I guess, for the first time since the Gator boys cut the nets down to win the national championship in basketball. And now they're making a big run. They are as hot as any team in America in college baseball. And they'll take on Alabama in Gainesville this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Kevin, how are you, man?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We are doing well, but not as well as the Gators. I mean, this right now it's fun to be a Gator fan. Also, a third national seed, I believe, for softball. They certainly have a championship lineage there, won a couple of national championships. So again, under Tim Walton. But the Gators right now in baseball, after what they've done in the last 5 weeks, they're as hot as any team in the country.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I was just on another show, and I think it was really figuring out the pitching. That's been the big thing, and figuring out the roles of the pitching staff has really kind of helped fuel this turnaround. In the beginning of the year, they went with Alex Philpott as the closer. That didn't work out, so then they moved Jake Clemente, who was began the year as their Saturday starter, into the closer role. They had to navigate through some injuries. Jake Menendez, one of their sophomore arms, who was expected to be, a big middle reliever, was, they lost him from the season early in the season in March. So they've kind of pieced things together. But this freshman, Aiden King, has been a real revelation. He was terrific on Sunday against Texas, 7 shutout innings. He's, earned SEC Freshman of the Week for the 3rd time this season. Liam Peterson has kind of stepped up into the Friday night role and has been pretty good, particularly of late. And the pitching has been more consistent. They're throwing strikes. And then Pierce Capola, a guy who, the 6'8" kid, who was kind of shut down in early March and didn't pitch an SEC game, is finally back, and they're working him back in the mix. He threw a 1-inning start and then a 2-inning start in the Texas game. And I think they're going to try to ramp him up to about 4 or 5 innings by the time regional starts. So now you have a solid rotation and you have a better bullpen, and they've hit okay all season long too. They've been a decent hitting team, but not a kind of 1 through 9, a little bit of a deeper order, maybe with not as much slug, but a little more gap hitting and speed.
Yeah,
but kind of a difference a year makes though too, right? I mean, last year at this time it was Florida needing wins to really make a case to get into the NCAA tournament. I mean, this was a team that many people thought last year didn't deserve to get in at some point, or, would not get in this year because of this turnaround, because of this hot stretch. I mean, is it out of the question that they might, if they play well in this Alabama series, if they showcase something in the SEC tournament, could they be at home at all during the first weekend of the NCAA tournament? Is that out of the question?
Yeah, I think there's a possibility, because right now the RPI is 14, right? They've broken into most of the major polls. I think USA Today is 21 and they're 16. So if they can get in that top 16 range ranking wise in RPI, I think there's definitely a possibility. But I think it would begin this weekend with Alabama, and you'd have to sweep them or at least take 2 out of 3. I don't think you can lose the Alabama series and expect to host the number 1 seed. I think that would be kind of the death knell on that. But right now, I think they're a solid number 2, and a number 2 that I don't think a lot of teams would want to see in their bracket based on how they're playing right now.
And I know sometimes they regionalize the draws, but I know and Link Jarrett and FSU have had a great year, but I don't think they'd want to see Florida as the 2 seed in Tallahassee.
No, not at all. But I've seen a lot of projections that have them kind of in that coastal Carolina, Clemson, North Carolina, that region, that area. So they could end up there instead and still be within, busing or short flight distance. So we'll see how that plays out.
And that would be interesting too if they tied it into Clemson because of his time there as an assistant coach. That would make a lot of sense. And I'm sure there'd be a lot of people who'd like to see O'Sullivan back in his old stomping grounds, but certainly they're hot. And there's a lot at stake for Alabama as well. I think Alabama needs to win 2 out of 3 to host also. I don't think winning one, some people think winning one game might get them a top 16, but to me, after the way they kind of gave the Vanderbilt series away, I think they need to find a way to win this series, which is going to be very, very difficult with how well Florida's playing right now.
Yeah, and Florida being back at home, I think will help in that regard. But you never know. Sometimes, they've won 5 SEC series in a row. You take 2 or 3 from number 1 Texas. Sometimes you wonder about the hangover. There is going to be a little bit of a quicker turnaround time from the Friday to Thursday, obviously, in terms of the starting pitchers are going to have a little less stress. So it'll be interesting because when they swept South Carolina, they kind of had a home game against USF, a midweek game where there's a little bit of a hangover effect, and they lost 7-1. But then they regrouped nicely by taking 2 or 3 against Texas. But I think it does set up pretty well for Florida in that regard to finish up at home, and you'll see how it all pans out.
You mentioned health, getting players back, players injured earlier. How do they look? How does Florida look healthy-wise, or I should say health-wise, going into this Alabama series?
Yeah, well, you're probably not going to see the former Alabama, infielder Colby Shelton. He's still out with a hamate bone injury. Probably going to be another week or so. He could be back in time for either the SEC tournament or regionals. But they've adjusted without him pretty well. They moved Bobby Bozer to shortstop, Brendan Lawson from third to first, and they're kind of piecing together first base with Brody Dene, Luke Heyman, whoever's not catching that day, or Landon Stripling. So they're working it out that way. As you know, Kate Kurland is gone for the season. Kyle Jones. Those were 2 other injuries in a lineup that they had to navigate. But other than that, I think they come in fairly healthy, and they're going to be, certainly, on a high, obviously winning 15 the last night.
No question. And then we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Todd Golden. Huge raise to be expected, huge contract extension for him. Going to be in Gainesville, which we think now for a long time. Interesting their roster rebuild. And I know they're going to be waiting on the draft combine to potentially get some pieces back. And then Todd Golden, I believe, went on the record the other day saying he's looking for one more piece.
Yes. And, they had Desmond Claude in for a visit, but that did not go well. So I think they're looking for a backcourt piece. And then if Condon decides to stay in the draft, then they might be looking for a front court piece as well. But I think they're keeping their fingers crossed and hoping that Alex Condon will come back. depending on, the combine is going to be pretty big this week. They measured Alex Condon yesterday, 6'11", 7'1" in sneakers with a 7-foot wingspan. So he's got that power forward size. It's going to be interesting to see. I know he's not taking part in some of the scrimmages and so forth. I think that he's going to let the tape kind of speak for itself. So in the private workout will be interesting to see. But May 28th will be the date where he's got to make the decision whether he's going to stay in the draft or not.
Yeah, that was interesting with Desmond Claude because it seemed like that was all but done before the visit. It sounded like Florida was definitely the heavy favorite as he decided to leave USC after USC continued to turn their roster over under Eric Musselman. But then, as you said, obviously there was some disconnect there, and I'm still a little surprised, but I guess I shouldn't be with the portal with Denzel Aberdeen leaving after he was such a key cog in a national championship team. But Kentucky's spending obscene amounts of money.
Well, yeah, they got A.J. Brown, who's Isaiah Brown's older brother, and I think he's going to be a nice under-the-radar addition. He's a 6'4" guy. He's smart. He can shoot the ball pretty well. He's not the flashy, top transfer name. But Xavier Lee is obviously the interesting guy, the point guard who, is a big-time playmaker. And I think they're expecting a little bit more from Isaiah Brown next year as well as a sophomore within the program, and Urban Klapschar, who showed that he could be a good three-point shooter. So I think they're probably looking for one more guard. I know Todd likes to have that rotation of 5 guards, 5 forwards available, I think that we'll see how that transpires. Don't forget Ruben Chiniello is also in the draft too.
That's right,
as a forward. So again, I still think that there's going to be a lot of shuffling between now and early mid-June, but I do think that Todd and his staff have proven they can find players, whether it be overseas, whether it be lower radar transfers that can fill in and be productive. So I think I think Florida trusts in that regard, and this is just where we are in college sports, Drew. It's just a very transactional business right now.
It is.
That's an understatement. I mean, but the thing is, though, you look at Florida, though, and we see it on the football side too. It's you keep what you have and you try to blend in with new guys to build around what you have. And I think Todd Golden has a lot of good pieces coming back next year, and they just kind of blended in some new faces.
Yeah, and Thomas Houck is obviously the big piece that's coming back, and I think he has star potential next year. And his just and you saw that in the run in March. I mean, you can make the argument that Thomas Houck was Florida's second best player in the postseason behind Walter Clayton in terms of his consistency and what he did. And he's a guy that I think you can play him as a stretch forward. You can play him a little bit on the wing. He's so versatile and he's skilled. So I think that this could be a big year for him next year coming back, and you've got Hanlogden coming back also, so you got another big there. And then we'll see how the rest of the pieces fit. I think last year, what was kind of an underrated aspect of Florida's tournament run was just their continuity. The fact that even though they had transfers, I mean, Will Richard was a transfer that was in the program for 3 years. Walter Clayton was a transfer that was in the program for 2 years. So you add a little bit of continuity there. And I think, Florida will lose a little bit of that depending on who leaves. But if you have a guy like Condon that comes back and Chiniello that comes back, then you still have a little bit more continuity that you can go into next season with.
And then we're talking to Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun, Gannett, Florida Network. And but with the level of success, he also he lost a couple of assistant coaches to head jobs. How's the staff coming back together?
Yeah, Jonathan Saphir obviously is, a big piece coming back. And he added, another assistant, Klatsky, who is going to be a guy that, a former guy from NYU who was, and also Coach Colgate, who is another analytical mind, kind of fits the profile with what they want to do. So I think that they're going to be pretty good there in terms of, full in terms of their staff and what they want to accomplish for 25 and 26.
Well, good stuff from Kevin Brockway. We'll have plenty of time to talk football when we know it at SEC Media Days as well in Atlanta. and the Gators going to have a lot of expectations going into this year for Billy Napier with how they finished. Looking forward to talking some football soon with Kevin Brockway, but always enjoy the intel, my friend. Let everybody know how to follow your baseball coverage and, of course, basketball, trying to fill out their roster. And as we know, as you just detailed, some changes on the staff, but let everybody know how to follow the Gators and your work.
Yeah, at Kevin Brockway G1 on Twitter, Kevin Gator Sports and Gainesville.com.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, Kevin Brockway. Yeah, there's time to get some football conversation in there. I mean, because we're less than 2 months away from SEC Media Day. So we're going to really start to crank that up in a little bit. But baseball's in the heat of things.
Baseball's in the heat.
Basketball's.
The draft process will be ended May. You heard Kevin say May 28th.
It's funny because a lot of college basketball coaches, you peruse Twitter.
Yeah.
And you look around and the sentiment out there now is there's still a lot of guys in the college basketball portal. A lot of guys in the portal. A lot of trash in the portal.
Well,
a lot of guys in there where there's just not – there's a lot of guys in there, but there's just not –
Well, obviously Desmond Claude didn't fit. He played for Ernest T. Bass, a.k.a. Eric Musselman, and obviously Todd Golden didn't think he was an answer, so they let him stay in the portal. He hasn't found a home yet. So, that's another Huey Lewis song, Finally Found a Home.
I don't know that one.
You don't know Finally Found a Home? Come on.
Should I know that one?
Yes, if you grew up in the 80s like we did. Come on. I mean, John will probably have that queued up when we get back. Come on. Everybody, I'm sure.
Come on. Let's go to break.
If Brian Temple's listening, he knows the song I'm talking about.
We'll go to break. We'll play it next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The PGA Championship tees off on Thursday at the Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte. Scotty Scheffler is a 4-1 favorite. Rory McIlroy plus 475. Bryson DeChambeau is 14-1. Will there be a hole-in-one of the tournament? Yes, the underdog at plus 135. No, the favorite at minus 190. Atlanta Braves today, a $2.25 favorite over the Nationals at Truist Park, plus 185. 8.5 under the total. Spencer Schwallenbach for the Braves. Michael Soraka for the Nationals. Yesterday, the Braves with a walk-off win in the ninth inning to hand the Nationals their 6th consecutive loss. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It just works. Picture this. You're at home doing whatever it is you do. Then the power goes out. Then what? Well, at my house, life goes on. We have a Generac automatic home standby generator from Current Electrical and Generator Services. For your home security and peace of mind, get a free personal consultation on how a Generac automatic home standby generator can protect you. Current Electrical and Generator Services. Call or visit us on the web at HuntsvilleGenerators.com. You've got the power.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
When the biggest names in aerospace, financial services, and electronics needed office and manufacturing space in Huntsville, they called Samples Properties, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. When Huntsville first began to grow, so did Samples Properties. You can trust your business to Samples Properties and their deep knowledge of the commercial real estate market in Huntsville and Madison. When you're in the market for commercial real estate and you need a partner who knows how to make your plans come together, Samples Properties can guide you through all the legal, financial, and regulatory hurdles. And if you just need office space to start or grow your business, Samples Properties is the call you need to make. Go to samplesproperties.com to see the impressive list of clients that have profited from the knowledge and integrity of Samples Properties. For commercial real estate development and consultation, trust your business to Samples Properties, with offices on Madison Street in downtown Huntsville. Samplesproperties.com.
This spring, bloom into savings at Owen Home Appliance Center with a new shipment of scratch and dent items at the Somerville location, like a side-by-side refrigerator with water and ice, just $6.99. Or head to the highly interactive location in Lacey Springs to get the latest in appliance tech. It's garden and grilling season, so you're going to need that 21 cubic foot upright frost-free freezer for just $7.99 at Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service only at Owen Home Appliance Center, Somerville and Lacey Springs.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof, not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at SensaGreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Oh, yeah. I'm still not familiar with this song from Huey. It screams Huey Lewis and the News. It screams it. Just not used to that song, though. It's amazing what we did during the break this time. We researched Huey Lewis and the News.
Yes, we did.
Researched Huey Lewis and the News. And I did not know. I did not realize that they were in. John, you got to find this one too. I can find it too. But We Are the World.
Oh yeah, We Are the World.
Did not realize
huge global hit.
that Lewis had a vocal solo.
You can see that in the video.
We Are the World.
Yeah,
in the video. Yeah, that's when MTV played videos.
Exactly.
That's when it was music television videos or whatever.
Here's in the video.
I mean, that's when it was MTV.
Yeah, music television.
We Are the World. Yeah. That was the Africa charity single. We Are the World. Here we go. It was written by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, produced by the one and only Quincy Jones. There we go.
That was Cyndi Lauper, I think.
Oh my gosh. So Bruce Springsteen, Cyndi Lauper, Paul Simon, Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner.
No, it was the
all
cavalcade of stars.
Oh my gosh. Get out your lighters.
There we go.
You had to have the lighters in the 80s and you had to burn your finger.
Never burnt my finger. Sorry.
And hold on long enough.
Not pull my finger, burn my finger.
One of the greatest recess things. Hey, pull my finger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. We Are the World. Released in 1985, March 7th, recorded January 28th of 1985. Oh, man. Kind of recording. I'm kind of going over all the people that were in that. I mean, it was Ray Charles, Billy Joel, Diana Ross, Cyndi Lauper, Bruce Springsteen, Tina Turner, Randy and Tito, LaToya, Jackie. The Jackson siblings were all in it.
Yep.
Prince would have a part in it, but did not attend the singing. Remember, because all the video shows you, they show you all in the studio,
right,
singing "We Are the World."
Mm-hmm. Yep. I remember vividly.
256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. Wow. Mike Shula and We Are the World.
Yeah.
All in the same.
We could even tie it in with Mike Shula in South Carolina. Stuck with You. Another Huey Lewis classic.
Oh my
Lord.
Goodness. My goodness. Well, okay. So as far as coaches and coordinators go, would you trade? I know they're different positions, and you probably know where I'm going with this.
Here we go.
Would you trade Mike Shula for Freddie Roach?
They're the same.
They're the same. I know they're different positions, but
I know.
Would you rather have Mike Shula on your staff or Freddie Roach on your staff?
I'm stuck with one already. So
you're stuck with.
So I'm stuck. Guess I'm just gonna have to take Freddie right now. I'm definitely stuck with you, Freddie.
Freddie's ready for a breakout year.
Well, I would hope so. That means Alabama is going to be good. And hopefully he can start earning some of that $1 million plus that they're paying him.
But the defense last year for Alabama
was better.
Was not bad.
No.
Numbers wise was decent.
I didn't think the defensive line was great, but it is what it is.
So when you're analyzing that defensive line, you want more pressure out of it, right? Is that what you want? Is that what you want to see from Alabama?
I want to see them better in both phases, both the run defense and the pass rush.
Here's let's get out to B Rich real fast. Good morning, B Rich.
What's up?
Good morning, fellas. Man, I love it when y'all talk 80s. Man, there is a great I think it's a Netflix documentary or some kind of documentary on how the We Are the World was put together. Like they did it one night after the Grammys. It was either right after or before something.
American Music Awards. They came straight from the American Music Awards to record that night.
Yeah, wow.
That's it. That documentary is amazing, and they go in depth about how they talk about how Prince was supposed to be there, and he no-showed, and just some of the. I mean, there were some huge egos in that project, and there were some clashes, and y'all be shocked that Waylon Jennings didn't get along with a few people out there.
Yeah, you know what? John Denver wanted to participate, but they turned him down.
Wow. No, I didn't know that one. I hadn't heard that.
Eddie Murphy was asked to be a part of it because remember, Eddie Murphy sang. Yeah. Eddie Murphy had a song called Party All the Time.
Yes, he did.
He was recording Party All the Time and did not participate in We Are the World.
It's a great documentary if you get a chance to watch it because it just went on all night. Now, of course, there were people partake there. You had people all over the spectrum. You had partiers and people that were sober and people that were, it's very, very interesting. The stuff that Quincy Jones had to put up with because this guy wouldn't want to record with this guy, and this one didn't want to stand next to this one.
Oh
and,
my God!
It's just the egos and stuff. It was just incredible. But those were great times, and y'all playing that song and Huey Lewis, I love it. So, hey, just wanted to hop on. If you get a chance, check it out.
I'm gonna
y'all
have
a great
to.
one, fellas.
All right, some of the people that were in the chorus now.
Yeah.
How about this? Dan Aykroyd, Harry Belafonte.
Oh, nice.
Let's see here. I'm going down the line. Jackie Johnson, LaToya Jackson, Marlon Jackson, Randy Jackson, Tito Jackson, Waylon Jennings, Bette Midler. Were all in. Smokey Robinson. They were all in the chorus for We Are the World. It concludes with Bob Dylan and Ray Charles singing a full chorus.
Man, I just found that. I forgot about this Huey Lewis song. This is Dirt Neck personified.
What's this one?
Some of my lies are true.
Oh, I saw an article the other day that talked about Jimbo Fisher and how he may never ever come back to coaching
Why
again.
would he have to? He got paid $75 million. He's probably got enough, horses and cattle.
It just wasn't about the money. It was just about how everything has changed.
Well, I'm sure.
And then the landscape of everything is in that he just may not ever come back to college coaching again. Like not even just college coaching, period. Like it's done. Jimbo Fisher just may be done forever coaching. All right. What is it? 8:32. We got to get a break in. Because when we come back, we're going to dial up the college baseball machine again. Mark Etheridge from D1 Baseball. We talked about their rankings. He'll join us next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. We're also going to be talking about the chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be on the stronger end of the spectrum, but the overall threat for severe weather remains somewhat low. Temperatures only dropping into the upper 50s, lower 60s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. We are going to be much warmer. It looks like temperatures going to consistently climb into the low and mid-80s. A couple of isolated showers, but the vast majority of us going to stay dry. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Sports Talk, 24/7, 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
Let's see. It's 8:36. It's Tuesday. It's Talking Ball, and we're on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I got all that right. We, in that last segment, before the last segment, we started talking about college baseball, and we went over the D1.com baseball rankings.
Yep.
And the SEC is just littered with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams inside the top 25, 2 inside the top 4, and then you have 3, 4, 5, 6 inside the top 10 in college baseball. The SEC is on track again it's set up for a phenomenal run. But Drew, a couple questions kind of emerged out of last weekend. Number one, can Tennessee still find a way to host because they seem to be on a backward slide right now? And is LSU really the number one team now in college baseball?
Yeah, and not to mention the huge series coming up, Southern Miss traveling to Troy. We mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah, yep.
A couple teams, one's lost one series, Southern Miss, the other have lost none.
On the weekend.
At the end for as far as 3-game sets. That's going to be a huge mid-major series, probably the biggest in the country. But we're going to talk some college baseball and especially SEC with our next guest. He does a great job with D1 baseball. He's been very busy, but as he told me on Sunday, that's a good thing. And this time of year, college baseball is front and center. And we're talking about Mark Etheridge, and he's carved out some time on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline to join us. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, isn't it a great time of year? You got the season, the regular season coming to a close. You got all the postseason ramifications with every game. How a game, in the Southern Miss Troy game might affect, an Alabama or a Tennessee or somebody who's trying to get a host site. I mean, it's all interwoven, and it makes it so much fun to follow.
Yeah, and then we get to talk to Kevin Brockway, who I know you know, and he covers Florida, and Florida's made one of the more stunning turnarounds we've ever seen because they seemed to be dead in the water 5 weeks ago, and now they've won 5 straight series, and now they're not even out of the host conversation.
They were 1-11 in conference play, 1-11, and since then they're 13-2. I mean, just going on a roll, beating really good teams to get there. They just went to Texas, who's arguably had the best season of anyone in the country. Took a series, and they were really close to sweeping it. The game they lost, their ace Liam Peterson had a shutout going, and Raines came and ended his outing after 4 innings, and then Texas kind of killed their bullpen. So you look at how Florida's playing, you can make a case. We've got them ranked near the bottom of the top 25 because the first half of the season did happen, but right now they're playing as well as anybody and are in position certainly to get Alabama this weekend. They've got them in Gainesville, so you have to like their chances with that one. And then going into Hoover, who's playing better? I mean, they could certainly go on a run, and if they do so, it would not, as you mentioned, wouldn't be out of the question for them to sneak in and get one of those final host spots. And when you think about where they were, 5 weeks ago, I mean, you need to be drug tested if you said something like that.
Yeah.
So as fun as Florida has been to watch, and I think a lot of people, you start 1-11, a lot of people start cheering for you because, hey, look, I mean, this is a good turnaround. Every sport has a villain. And I think right now in college baseball, it's got to be Tennessee. Tennessee baseball is a lightning rod for any kind of weekend. But and a lot of people are cheering for this right now because Tennessee's on a backward slide as far as weekend series go.
Yeah, the year that they had where they were just so dominant, I guess it's been 3 years ago now, or 4 years ago. And they had all the dugout antics and everything, really rubbed people the wrong way. And even though the team and the composition has changed, and they're not, I guess, as flamboyant as perhaps that team was, although who could be, so some of that lingering resentment remains around the league. So I agree that there's certainly some that view them as the villain and have really relished this late season series losses they had. I guess the part that's really strikes me is that is a very difficult place to play. Lindsey Nelson, it's usually packed, and that's just a hard place for an opponent to go in and have success. And they've lost 4 of their 5 SEC series at home. I just don't understand it, honestly. I watched a good bit of the Vandy series. I was in Baton Rouge for LSU, Arkansas. Unfortunately, the games kind of didn't overlap that much, so I was able to catch it. And I felt like, Tennessee's bullpen is just not where it needs to be. They also struggled holding runners, and Vanderbilt took advantage of that, especially in the game Marcus Phillips pitched. It's just a team that I think they need to get away from home. They go to Fayetteville this weekend. That's a really tough place to play. But Arkansas, I mean, they're a great team, but they've lost 4 of their last 5 series. That's life in the SEC. So someone's swoon is going to continue. And I feel like Tennessee, it's probably good for them to go in, be the underdog, kind of try to find a reset button before they go to Hoover, where they typically play well, and try to get some momentum and earn a host spot, because our regional projections are going to come out later today. We've already met on it, and Tennessee is not a host this week. So
Wow.
It's one of those, opportunities for them as they move forward. It's still there for them. The opportunity's there, and they're close. But they just got to. I mean, the talent's there. We all believe in the ability and the coaching staff. It's just a question of getting the results.
And we do know that Butch Thompson and Auburn, they're playing really good baseball. They look to be a lock to host, and they may be able to go ahead and because right now it looks like the top 3, Texas, LSU, that we do know that the 3 of the 4 that are going to get that double bye are pretty well decided. At least it looks like it is to me. But that there's kind of a log jam for that 4th seed, and Alabama losing that Vanderbilt series was huge because it gives Vandy a leg up. Now Alabama did beat Georgia, but Georgia's still ahead of Alabama as well. So, but there's a log jam there a little bit for that 4th bye, the double bye, I should say, in the SEC tournament.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how teams approach the conference tournament, because you have teams at the top that really don't have anything to play for. You're just trying to get your pitching lined up, maybe get some guys some work that need it, and get some guys some time off that also need it, and perhaps find some people who aren't playing a major role for you now who can help you in the postseason. I think that's going to be the key. And then you have others that do have something to play for. A team like Alabama,
yes,
Tennessee certainly could grab a host site with a good run, with a strong finish, we'll call it. And I also feel like there are teams at the bottom of it that, like Texas A&M, right?
Is Mark Early done? That was a disaster at home.
Yeah, that's just a shock. I mean, they went from beating LSU, who we moved into the number 1 spot in the poll. And then the following week, they lose to a team that was 0-24. Not only lose to them, they give up 6 runs in the 9th on Friday. Then they get 2 hit on Saturday and 2 hit on Sunday and get swept. Oh. And I really, there's just really no explanation for it, because this is a A&M team that went to Tennessee and won, that went to Arkansas and won, that beat LSU. They can play with anybody in the country, but they can also lose to anybody in the country, as we saw this weekend. They go to Georgia, and Georgia's great at home. Their home road splits are incredible with how much better they play at Foley Field. That's a tough opportunity, but A&M, they've already proven they can win those games. Can they go in and kind of revive their chances, and then perhaps get some momentum and go on a run in Hoover and win their way back into the tournament? Because right now they're definitely out, and if they miss the tournament after being preseason number 1, I am concerned for Michael Early's tenure in College Station.
Well, they were preseason number 1. The current number 1 is LSU. And they have been swinging the bat really well. Great series win for them this past weekend.
Yeah, I was down there. It was really an odd opener. Rain all through the South, really, and they had to start by 10 p.m. local time in Baton Rouge. We had first pitch at 9:57.
Wow!
So it was a late night at the box, especially for an old guy like me. And we didn't end it till I think it was 1:17 when the walk-off sac fly in the 10th inning occurred, and LSU got the win. And that was really the difference because LSU handled them. They run ruled them on Saturday. And Arkansas won pretty comfortably on Sunday. So it was really that one moment, well after midnight in Alex Box, where they just seem to the later it gets, the better they play. And as a result, they were our number one. It's kind of by default. There's no obvious number one. I think they were just kind of the best of several candidates. And the other part I really need to point out with LSU is nobody has a 1-2 punch on the mound like they do. Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson right now are pitching incredible. Anderson's been good all year. Ianson was pretty good up until the last few weeks, and now he's as good as anybody in the country. He's a difference maker. He's got a big hammer breaking ball that nobody seems to pick up, and as a result, anybody who beats LSU is going to have to beat those guys. And good luck, buddy, because they are pitching at the top of the sport.
Yeah, they are. And then to go back to Alabama, some think they need one game in Gainesville. I think they need to win the series to host. What is D1 baseball thinking on Alabama and what they have to do?
Yeah, we've got them projected to host as of this week. The RPI is up to 8, which is that's typically going to get you there. I do feel like they're going to be one. If they lose the series, if they only win one, their RPI is because it's on the road. It's at Florida, whose RPI is like 13 or so. You're not going to drop a whole lot, and I feel like that works in their favor. Certainly, winning 2 takes the question out of it. Winning 1, you're going to be vulnerable. Somebody could come in, go on a run, and take a spot from you if there's just not enough room for everyone. But I do feel like they'd have a great chance, even with a 16-14 conference record, because of the top 10 RPI.
And then Auburn.
I think the other.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The other thing I'll point out on Alabama is Justin LeBron has awakened.
Yeah, he has.
He went in kind of a second half of the SEC. He's been in a bit of a slump. He had a home run in game 2 and had 3 hits in game 3. And it's amazing how when your best player is hitting, how much better your team is. And that, for me, is a big reason why Alabama won that series against a really good Georgia team.
And then I had this discussion with somebody on social media as well. Cade Snell, he's been steady as she goes. We know LeBron could be a first-round pick, should be a first-round pick, maybe the number 1 pick next year. But Cade's quietly had a first-team All-SEC type year.
He's so steady. It's a really flat swing. He doesn't strike out. He puts the ball in play, and he's hitting third. LeBron's hitting second. If LeBron continues to get on base in front of Snell, it changes the whole look of that offense. I mean, they go from just an okay offense to better than average. And the way they're pitching right now, I mean, that's maybe good enough. Carson Osmer's been great out of the bullpen, set the Alabama single season record for saves. He's an Ivy League transfer. He was a kind of a two-way guy. He's a really competitor, and he's just a tough look. And I think that's been a key. Really, those 3 players have been a huge key in their success.
And then my final question, they're headed to Ole Miss. If Auburn wins this series on the road, are they a top 8 national seed? It looks like it right now.
I think so. I think that would cement it. If they only win 1 on the road, and I'm picking Auburn to win this series, by the way. They're just playing so well, even as hard as it is to win in Oxford. I do feel like if they win 1, there's still an opportunity. The problem is there's just a glut of SEC teams that have really similar resumes, and how do you distinguish between, because they kind of all beat each other up, but they all have good resumes, and I just don't know that there's going to be room for all of them, depending on what happens in other leagues.
Yeah, no doubt. We already talked about Southern Miss and South Alabama as well. But great stuff as always, Mark. Let everybody know how to follow you guys at D1Baseball.com. Your time of year.
Yeah, it is. I mean, D1 Baseball come check us out. We have a podcast called the Nerdcast where we act as the committee and we go through and we pick the field and have a little fun with it. We'll have regional projections that come off that, the analysis that goes along with it. I'm working on a piece now. Remember, Virginia's series at Florida State was canceled because of the shooting down there on campus. And what does that do? And that really hurt their RPI and their resume. What are the ramifications to that? What should be the ramifications to that? That's a piece that will be up later today.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Get that final break in. Tomorrow's headlines will wrap us all up.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Time does keep on slipping into the future.
Yeah. Cooper Flag, Dallas Maverick. Why is ESPN even talking about this?
This morning they asked the question, if you were the Dallas Mavericks, should you trade the overall #1 pick?
I mean, the bigger question is, if you're the San Antonio Spurs, could you trade the 2 and the 14 and a package to get Giannis Antetokounmpo, or do you want to? That should be the bigger question. Because of course you're not going to trade, Wemby here. You're not trading Wembyana, but hey, come on.
No. Good news for the Atlanta Braves fans and the Atlanta Braves as a whole. Ronald Acuna Jr. begins his rehab assignment with that FCL, with the FCL down there in Florida today.
Yeah, the
begins his
ACL
rehab.
recovery, yep.
They're not putting a time frame on anything right now, but he does begin his rehab assignment today. So that is good news for Atlanta Braves fans.
Yeah. I mean, we still think there's a good chance he'll be back sometime in May, but they're going to be careful with Ronald Acuna Jr. When he's healthy, he can be one of the best players in baseball. We certainly won't see him in the lineup on Thursday when they play the horrendous Nats.
No, you and I got to wake up at the but we're going to wake up before the crack of dawn. We're going to go in the middle of the night.
Cannonball run, man. I'm just telling you, with the computer and everything.
The last time we did this was when we went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we left in the middle of the night
and
to get to Atlanta.
I had to follow Tokyo.
I was riding with Tokyo.
And you were impressed that I kept up.
Yes, we both were impressed that you kept up.
Yeah. I didn't know where the hell the house was.
That's when what did we do? 26 hours? 28 hours?
26 hours. It's like the 24-hour show on Food Network where they cook for 24 hours.
That was when Wes wanted to play cards at midnight.
And I said, hell no.
I was in bed too.
Yeah, I want a new drug.
You weren't with us on that trip.
Sick.
That was the Super Bowl trip.
Must have been the other time we wanted to play cards at midnight.
Yeah,
you weren't with us yet for this one, Johnny boy.
Yeah.
I want a new drug, one that don't make me sick. That's what I wanted that night. One that didn't make me feel 3 feet thick.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying roll tide and war eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and